Greetings, my healers, this is Nick Kentel, and welcome back to Pokemon Academy Life Forever. It's Wednesday morning, and here we are with Leaf. Morning, Sleeping Beauty? Morning, Leaf. Just wanted to let you know that we are still on track for this evening. Great. Do you need to keep updating me every day? Honestly, at this point, yeah, I don't want to make excuses, but if one more thing goes wrong, I want, plenty of foreshadowing from me freaking out. You know, and I probably should have said this before, we could just, walk around for a bit. I'd be happy with that. Yeah, I know. I've got excuses for why all those other ideas didn't work out, but I don't really have an excuse for that one. You know, you and Ethan are kind of similar that way. If something goes wrong in the morning, he feels like the day's a wash. I tell him that's not the case, of course. And now I'm telling you. Sometimes the most important part of running is just putting your shoes on. Maybe you didn't hit a new personal best, and maybe you cramped something 10 meters out the door. But you still did it. Just something to think about. Now come on, let's go to class. Loaf and me? I never really thought about it like that before. Points with Ethan and Leaf. Your understanding of Ethan and Leaf increases, as does their understanding of each other. That's a good sign. Homeroom passes uneventfully. Old Man O keeps an active eye on a thick book while teaching. Though the front of it is covered in thick duct tape, you recognize Old Man O's copy of Teaching for Geniuses. We're going to electives already. Interesting. Okay, so, traits. Almost equal to level 27, so flying. I'm going to take flying to get my starter proficiency up. You chose flying? Yes, go to flying class. Our roommates, F, M, K. What do you think? Okay, when it comes to red, I choose F, M, K. I mean F and M with blue. I think I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole. Yeah, but I'm deciding for you, Red. You're the playable character and the player controls you. So, general studies. Have any of your Pokemon learned the move Defog? If so, you should really consider keeping it. I, had my first Noctowl forget it immediately. It just didn't seem very useful. Few battles take place in the fog after all. But I've learned a lot since then. Defog clears the battlefield of much more than fog. It also removes light screens, reflects terrain, and most importantly, entry hazards. Bird Pokemon can fly right above spikes, but Stealth Rock really clips their wings. Defog can handle that problem. Although it does have one big downside. Defog clears both sides of the battlefield, so don't pair it with a strategy based on light screen. Winona shares more wisdom earned from mistakes. Classmates' bones increased. Ah, sweet. Okay, level 28, and it's time for gym class with Alder and Bruno. But spamming full restores won't make you a champion, no matter how many of them you have. Using healing items in battle is the weak man's substitute for resilience. Can't say I agree, but there's other reasons not to. A full restore might buy your Pokemon a couple of seconds of health, but since they need to stay still for you to apply the medicine, any competent opponent's going to use that opening to buff themselves, so they can knock you out in one shot next time, which means you just blew $3,000 to give your opponent an opening. That really sucks, doesn't it? Hey, Gardenia speaking up. Alder, sir! Oh, right, Gardenia. I actually meant to talk to you about that. What was it you sold me again? Common candies? Rare candies, Alder. All sales are final. Sorry, I got interrupted, so I had to cut a part of the video out. Anyway, but I have a question for you. You said that spamming full restores isn't a good idea because of the cost, but aren't champions like you extremely well paid? Oh, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I am able to keep a pretty nice house in the Grey Natural Research Center where my daughter and grandson live. The Univern government makes sure its champions are well taken care of. Actually, every single year I was reigning, Congress voted to increase my salary as part of the defense budget. Don't know what they thought this old geezer could defend them from. I couldn't even defend them from a little girl. And I had to pause the recording. Okay, Univan champion. Very well paid. Noted. What about that Cantonian champion instructor Bruno? What about the Cantonian champion instructor Bruno? You must know since you work under Lance. Lance is not the sort of man who shares his financial information. However, the Indigo champion has the combined salaries of both the former Cantonian and Jotonian champions. One can assume that he is very well paid, though perhaps still not to the degree that Alder is.
I knew he was lying about being a teacher for the money.
I think I heard. Yeah, the Paldean champion gets 2,000 Poké Dollars a month, I think, so 24k Poké Dollars a year. What? That's so low! How do they not starve to death? Esperad, wait. Paldea has many champions, 97 right now, and Paldea champion is a rank you attain, not a job a single person has. Well, that's dumb. I agree with Misty. I can think of 97 people who might disagree with you. And Gita being the top champion of Paldea is super dumb if you ask me. Honestly, Nemona should have been the top champion, not Gita. Anyway, we also have a top champion, La Primera, but she doesn't accept the allowance. It's tradition for the top champion not to. More like La Segunda, the second. Hold on now, so this top champion is like your actual champion, and you've got 97 Elite Four? Yes, and you need to beat them all in a row to challenge the champion. Mad. Raihan, he's messing with you. I thought Grusha was serious when I first read that, but when I first played Week 8, but we should know that he has pretty dry humor and sarcastic humor. What? He's a guy? That's what he's shocked about? Seriously, Raihan, you couldn't tell by Grusha's voice that he's male? Seriously. Hey, back on track, please. What can you tell us about the other champions' salaries? I think Steven Stone abolished the champion's pay when he became champion, though I heard the salary wasn't very big anyway. Of course, being the heir to Devon, he didn't need it, and Instructor Wallace was already filthy rich from endorsements and contest prizes when he became champion. Do you not know how much the champion of Sinnoh was paid? Oh no, I know that one. Cynthia is paid 1.118 billion a year, though this amount fluctuates based on market conditions. What does she even do with that much money? No one knows. I've studied the economies of Celestic Town and the area north of Route 223, so I could figure out what she was spending her money on and invest in it. But as far as I can tell, she's either not spending that money at all, or does all her shopping online. Being fair, it's rather hard to imagine Cynthia walking into a Pokemart and asking to buy a handful of Pokeballs. Yeah, I guess. What's up, Gardenia? So what does your dear friend Leon spend his money on, Raihan? I've seen those Gigantamax-sized checks they wheel out for him. Somehow he spends that money even faster than he gets it. He helps out trainers in Gala, mostly, but sometimes he'll just decide to buy an island or bankroll a new field of science. The Aether Foundation has 3 new wings named after him. Don't think he even knows how to pronounce Aether. Yeah, because in British English, A and E together is pronounced E. Being fair, it's a bloody tough word. Who decided A should be pronounced E? It should be like IE, or maybe A? Sonny, this is your daily reminder you're the smart one. Thanks, Ness. Alright. The point is, every champion makes a comfortable living, but Cynthia makes the most comfortable living. She's the richest champion ever. Although, just to make sure I'm getting this right, Cynthia's 1.1 billion is a lot? Cynthia's 1.1 billion Poké Dollars is a lot? Huh? Yeah, of course, it's an absolutely massive amount of money. Huh, guess I haven't gone shopping in a while. Okay, so Alder is richer than Cynthia. Wait, he didn't realize that was a ton of money? Just how wealthy is he? Let's move on to the battles now. We've talked long enough. Red, please battle Serena today. Gladly. Hi, Serena. Bonjour, Red. Hey. Oh, remember how I saw the Coordinator Club meeting yesterday? Ah, yes. It was a pleasant surprise to see you suddenly appear in the practice room's doorway with my roommates, but what of it? You looked great. Points with Serena. Ugh, I had to cut a part of the video out again. Anyway, you are too kind. In truth, I think we are all quite nervous. Licia is a woman who is very focused on her goals, much like I, but her goals are far more noble, and we all fear not helping her fulfill them. Don't be worried about that. I don't know much about contests, but I thought you were awesome, really stylish and classy. A kind sentiment, but the judges will be individuals who do know a lot about contests. Guess I can't argue with that. This conversation about how champions are funded is quite interesting. It certainly puts a couple personal things in my life in perspective. She's probably surprised to hear how little some of the champions make. She definitely gives off an upper-class vibe, even more than the other Colossians. In any case, that is enough rumination of monetary matters for the present. Now, shall we duel? Stand and deliver. Alright, Red versus Serena again. So she sends out her Houndour this time. Start with Wing and Titanium, you can do it. Oh, Ember, ouch. Okay, now try Air Cutter. Damn it, I forgot the Houndour no Protect. Alright, try again. Air Cutter. Oh my god, you missed! Roar! Okay, so Savage could try. Use Dragon Breath. Not very effective. Oh, Paralyzed, that's great. Now use Headbutt. Oh my god, protected of course. Try Dragon Rage this time. Oh my god, you're missing! Ouch, burned. She's burned. And of course, Houndour needs to use Enshroud again. Okay, now use Dragon Rage, please don't miss. Oh my god, it's because of evasion! The Houndour's evasion is up +1. Oh. You missed, seriously? Oh my god! Try again. Oh my god, this is so fucking frustrating right now. Try Dragon Breath. Okay, finally, you hit him. Good girl. Houndour is paralyzed, so he can't move. Savage, you can do this. Use Headbutt. Oh, and Shroud. Try Dragon Breath one last time. Okay, good girl, Savage. Good girl. Alright. Okay, Braixen is out, so I'm going to send out someone else. How about Larimar? Because Titanium is weak to fire-type moves. Okay, Larimar, can you handle this? I bet you can. Now use Water Slam. Water Pulse, not Water Slam. My bad. Braixen is confused. Now use Body Slam. Finish her off. Or maybe not. Oh, maybe yes. Good boy, Larimar. Good boy. And Sandile switched in. So he's going down with Water Pulse as well. Just one hit. Serena has one Pokemon left. And it's Rhyhorn. Awesome. Now use Water Pulse one last time. Very good, Larimar. Good boy. Okay, I won the battle. Ah, well done. You're a splendid battler. Of course, you realize this means that I am plotting my revenge. It's only fair. I knew the consequences when I accepted this duel. Oh, that reminds me. I noticed you didn't make it through the first round of the quarter clashes. What happened? Oh, well, truthfully, it's rather embarrassing, but I was beaten by my very first opponent. Oh, that sucks. I'm afraid she utilized exclusively water types. My team could do little against her as a result. Oof, bad luck, Serena. Sometimes the matchups just aren't in your favor. I suppose you would know that better than anyone. How many times am I going to get fucking interrupted? Well, I shan't let it discourage me. That mishap allowed me to focus all my attention on my aspirations as a musical coordinator after all. Perhaps it was secretly a blessing. Life has many doors, and I'm far too young to worry about the ones closed behind me. That's the spirit, Serena. Jeez, is that the bell already? Jeez, is that the bell already? Go on then, get out of here. Gladly, Alder. Wait to dismiss a class. Okay, lunchtime. Oh no, it's this bitch again. Hi, Red. Hey, what's up? Oh, I can't believe I forgot, but we should totally exchange contact info. How about not? I mean, you know, if you ever want to meet up and do anything, This is a trick, don't text her. Sure, what's yours? Oh, why don't you just give me your phone? I'll put it in for you. And then you could put yours in mine. I deserve some sort of award for not making a joke out of that. Okay, received Clara's contact info even though I'm not going to text her, which leads to her disturbing rank-up scene. Never doing that again, ugh. Anyway, want to do something tonight? Sorry, I've got something planned with Leaf. I thought I mentioned that. Well, yeah, you've got something planned. Can you please leave already? Look, I just don't want you to be disappointed if, she backs out again. But if she does, I'm here for you. I think being reliable is a really important quality for a person. That's why I like you so much. I know I can trust you. Never trusting you again, bitch. I'll keep that in mind, but it's not like she's trying to push it off. We've just had some bad luck. Please leave already? Some people just look for the easy way to get what they want. If it's a breakup, they just leave their partner. If it's money, they just take it. If it's to put off a long-standing engagement... Well, you know, I'm not saying that Leaf's doing that, of course, just that some people do. I really like putting in the work to get what I want, though. It makes it so much more satisfying to know I've earned whatever I get. Oh. Ah, finally, you saved me, Leaf. Hey, Red, not a date update. We are still on track. Hey, Leaf, how are you, bestie? Oh, I'm fine, bestie? Yeah, I first time playing week 8, I noticed that Clara's bustier than Leaf. Oh shoot, sorry, I totally interrupted what you were doing here, didn't I? My bad, no, you saved me. Leaf, please get Red away from there. No, it's fine, I know you felt left out, it's totally fine. Oh, well, that was pretty much it anyway, I can just leave now, it's really no problem. What are you going on about, bestie? You've been talking about this date you've been planning for months now. Now that it's actually going to happen, I want to know every detail. That's really creepy if you ask me. That's pretty much a red flag that Clara's pretty much a yandere. And it's not a date, okay? It's a hangout. Red is never going on a date with Leaf. He's going on one with Blue in the future. It's not a date. Thank you, Red. I didn't say it was! It's really not that big a deal. And besides, I want it to be a bit of a surprise for Red, you know? Oh no, I totally get it. I mean, I helped you plan a bunch of those previous ones, but I guess since those didn't work out, you just tried to do it yourself, right? Clara, you didn't really help me plan any of those plans, though. Oh. I'm sorry. I thought I was helping. I guess I was just getting in your way. What about your Ivysaur? Did I not actually teach it Instructor Koga's special move? Was I just a problem then too? No! You weren't ever in the way! I'm sorry, I misspoke. You weren't a problem at all. Oh. Then, will you tell me what you're doing for this date? It's not a fucking date. It's still not a date, but maybe now isn't the time to interrupt. Oh, alright. Sorry, Red, you're going to have to wait another 3 hours for your hint. I may actually die of anticipation. I can sense the sarcasm, Red. Classic. Made it 4 weeks, but that last 3 hours was the straw on the come-up's back. The time of death on my gravestone is going to have to be very specific. Huh, I just realized something. How come they don't put up cause of death on gravestones anymore? You know, I don't know. I don't think I realized until just now that that was a thing. But you're right, like, really old gravestones will say run over by a ponyta, or run over by a mudstale, or run over by a blitzel. Okay, I've got a different question. What the hell kinds of cemeteries do you have in Pallet Town? Apparently cemeteries populated by people who, in life, were pretty vulnerable to getting run over by equine Pokemon. Equine, I don't know how that's pronounced. That's going to be a new battle that's going to be the new battle meta. Pallet types are weak to horse types. If we're talking about the weaknesses of people in our hometowns, you're standing in a pretty glass house. You dick! I can't believe you went there. Yeah, I realized I was too far halfway through saying it. Thanks for not blowing up at me. Was that another volcano joke? Not intentionally, but I'm going to fill my mouth with food before I find another way to put my foot in it. Good idea. Red and Leaf so act like siblings, I tell you. Alright, Melody's still there. What's Professor Cherry teaching? Dark type. Yes, please. Thank you, Professor. You chose the independent table? Yes, go to the independent table. Oh? Well, sure. I always like to see my students take an active interest in their education. My research recently has been mostly on dark Pokemon. How about that? And yeah, it's a good way to avoid Sharon in class. Professor Cherry delivers an impromptu lecture. You nod and take notes diligently. Thank you, Professor Cherry. I'm almost pointing at Misty's crotch, my bad. Your dark proficiency increased to 28. And lastly, go to Ice class. And Grusha's not here. You chose Ice? Yes, go to Ice class. Dude, can you believe some people still haven't memorized the type chart? Really? In Kobukan? Feeling a bit better about my chances now. General Studies. Training Ice-type Pokemon is a blessing and a curse. They're all so pure and sweet and snuggable, but the tragedy of their existence feels like an icicle to the heart. Did you know that there are fewer Ice-type species than Pokemon of any other element? Yes. Even worse, most live in restricted and dwindling habitats. Avila grow much smaller than they used to. Mamoswine teeter on the brink of extinction. Swimming beartick can't find enough icebergs to rest on. Oh, it's just horrible, and all as a result of climate change. That mean old Mr. Groudon. Kyogre brought back the rain, but there's no ancient god to make things colder again. And to think some people enjoy the warmer winters. Okay, Melanie's going to cry, and we bonded with our classmates, including Ethan. And it's back to homeroom with Professor Oak. Which is why Hyper Beam is a particularly effective finishing move. At least it was when I was champion. Yes, I myself had a particular Tauros that managed to utilize the adrenaline rush from knocking out a foe to push to the stock of launching a Hyper Beam. Unfortunately, in his old age, he has lost that ability, and I've not been able to replicate that technique in any of the other Pokemon I've trained. I suppose I, too, have lost that ability. And unlike my dear Tauros, I cannot be sent to a farm outside Goldenrod to live a life surrounded by amorous Miltank. Of course, using our modern understanding of battle techniques, Hyper Beam was not the best move to use in that situation. Giga Impact would have been far better, given my Tauros' significantly higher physical attack stats. Back in the day though, when we were knocking out opponents left and right, it all seemed so much simpler. Yeah, Gen 1 was pretty much the simplest generation of Pokemon. It feels as though the world has shifted around me, and I'm only now beginning to realize the colors around me and, well, the fact I need to care about them. You know, back in the day, Agatha used an Arbok on her team. That Arbok knew Wrap, and Wrap, I swear, was a move that prevented the foe from moving for multiple turns, locking them down and damaging them. Why, it seemed as though Wrap was a move that combined the advantages of both the frozen and poison status conditions, but did not overlap with either. But that's simply not true. My memories of Wrap's strength are fiction. Perhaps I only thought it was so strong because Agatha used it to beat me as many times as I used Hyper Beam to beat her. You know, she never admitted this, but I believe she learned to train Ghost type specifically because she feared my Hyper Beam so much. That makes sense. I've never heard Old Man Oak talk about his champion days so much. Sounds like he misses them. If life was simpler back then, and he's now realizing how much effort it takes to be a teacher? Well, he's over 60. I can't imagine he wanted to sign up for an extremely difficult job at his age. Well, that's enough rumination on things that never happened. Remember, your test on terrains will be tomorrow, and I must be frank that it will be difficult. However, I will do my best during tomorrow's lectures to prepare you. Additionally, I will have a zero-tolerance policy for interruption. He's looking at you, Melody. Gum in class, that's disgusting. Hey, ready to have a real good time? A real good hangout, of course. You make it sound like something I'd find in a bathroom stall. I'm marginally classier than that. How thick is this margin? Thicker than you, and that's saying a lot, considering you turned me down for a date. And for a good reason, too. I mean, it's me, so like, that's a pretty big mistake. Still trying to get me to change my mind, huh? Don't worry, Red won't change his mind. Still trying? Huh? I mean, still trying? Huh? I haven't even started! And you better stop. You flew across an ocean to grab me. I would have done that anyway. I don't get a stamp on my loyalty card for something I was already planning on. I don't remember ever handing out loyalty cards. Really gotta get that memory checked out, Skippy. Early onset dementia's an awful thing. Yeah, come on, let's go to the dorm and get changed. And we're going to hang out with Leaf. Okay, this is Red's dorm? Red's room. Hey Leaf, ready? You coming? Ready as I can be. Leaf leads you to a simple cafe in Inspira, one you vaguely remember from that time you went shopping with Whitney, Flannery, and Tia. Huh, I assumed you were taking me somewhere really crazy. I would have if this was a date. I would have dressed up and everything too. But it's not, so I didn't, thank you. I appreciate it. I know that took some restraint. I know you mean it, but damn, that sounds sarcastic as hell. Okay, here's the cafe. Oh yeah, I remember this place. It's just like a cafe, so we can just take a seat wherever. What are you in the mood for? Coffee? Coffee's going to make you piss all night. This late in the evening? You shouldn't consume caffeine so soon before going to sleep, you know? It wreaks havoc with your sleeping patterns and your bladder. Have I ever told you your health nut quirks are really cute? Ah, thanks. I wouldn't call myself a health nut though. I just don't want to let myself slip out of good habits. Yeah, I get that. Oh, there's a table there. Come on, let's sit. So, I brought you here so that my part of the planning So, I brought you here, so that's my part of the planning done. What are we going to talk about? Okay, did you notice how nice Leaf's bust is? That's pretty nice if you ask me. And why isn't her elbow on the table? Isn't that tiring to hold your elbow up all the time? So, if you click on any of these and click on every single option that comes with it, then you'll learn some interesting things about Leaf and her opinions. So first, what do you think of our roommates? Oh, they're great! I was a bit weirded out at first when I learned that we'd all been assigned to the same dorm, but I guess it worked out. Who do you want to ask about? Let's start with Yellow. Yellow's an absolute sweetheart. She just needs to stand up for herself a bit more, but I can understand why it's difficult if she spends so much time with Blue. Yeah, she needs to do less of that. It seems like everyone knows Yellow, but I'm not sure how many friends she has outside of our dorm. I wonder when her birthday is. And the next roommate, please? Red himself. He's a great guy, really oblivious though. You keep saying that, but I'm not. He also does this weird thing where sometimes he'll refer to himself in the third person. Liar! Red does not understand what Leaf means? Really, my only problem with him is that he won't date me. That's because he's going to date Blue in the future. Get it through your thick skull, god damn it! But I'm working on that part. Please stop. Next roommate, please. And how about Ethan? Okay, just between us, I'm not sure what to think about him. Like, he's a funny, nice guy, a lot like you. And he can control his energy better. But I can't help but feel like he doesn't really mean most of what he says. Like, when he was flirting with Yellow, didn't that feel weird to you? Kind of weird. And Yellow's reaction, but, you know, pal, if Ethan and Yellow would make a pretty cute couple. They would not have a toxic relationship, if you ask me. Maybe it's just me. I mean, he has phrenergy, so I'm sure he's not doing anything bad. But, jeez, I'm sorry, I shouldn't gossip like this. He's a nice guy, and that's that. Well, I'm glad you like him. Next roommate. And it's going to be Blue. Blue's a lot more interesting than I thought he was at first. He's totally a dick, and that hasn't changed at all, but I thought he just hated you because he was jealous. Jealous of his grandfather. For sure. Well, I'm not sure that's untrue, actually, but the point is that he's got more going on in that spiky head of his than just seething jealousy. I couldn't have made it to Peloton without him, after all. For as much as he told me to give up, he got on board with my plan as soon as I had one that might work. And the final roommate, which is it's going to be Leaf herself. Talk about yourself, Leaf. What do you think about yourself? Oh, she's an actual queen. Literally the most perfect person ever. Hot, smart, tough, and a perfect fashion sense. Narcissist much? She's flawless. I hear her hair's insured for 1,600,000 polka dollars. I hear she does car commercials. In Unova. One time she met Raihan on a plane, and he told her she was pretty. She's also known to be extraordinarily humble, by the way. Modest, maybe. So next, what's your story with Clara? Actually, I'm not really sure what my story is with her. She's just really friendly and generous. She just started hanging out with me after the quarter clashes. She taught my Ivysaur bad breath, but, I didn't actually ask her to. I'm not sure how she even learned about me, actually. We don't share any classes as far as I know. But I'm not complaining. She's really sweet, and I probably shouldn't be looking too closely at why other people might seem to be really nice, given my whole thing with you. But beware that nice people can be devious. People can act nice, but if you're not careful, they can show you their true colors. Watch out. And next, what do you think of your classes? Sure, which ones? First, start with grass. I'm a bit worried about Instructor Ramos, honestly. He shows up to class every day with no bruises. Ouch! I mean, I don't think anyone's beating him up, but he's really old, and even little bumps can cause big problems for a man as old as him. But he really does know what he's talking about, if he remembers to say it. Yeah, Instructor Ramos probably has dementia. The next class is going to be Electric. Instructor Surge is an absolute lunatic, but he's not just a lunatic. When I was flying to get you before then, he had a talk with me, and he said some stuff that made me really think about what I was doing. I don't want to give him any excessive credit, like, I totally would have gone to get you eventually, with or without him, but he definitely pushed me along. Of course, that means that he pushed me to fly across the ocean, by myself, on a Pokemon, which might not have been the most responsible thing to do. The next class that you're going to talk about is normal. Instructor Lenora is a really patient, kind woman. She reminds me of my mom. I was worried that she'd be irritated I transferred to her class later, but she took it in stride. Yeah, Instructor Lenora's pretty nice and motherly. She's helped me out a lot when it comes to my Jigglypuff. Apparently she gets a lot of refugees from Instructor Claire's class, which doesn't entirely surprise me. And the final class, obviously, is going to be Dragon, which she no longer is in. Instructor Claire is a bit of a sadist, but I guess I should have expected that from a woman who comes to work every day dressed in a leather catsuit and a cape. I'm not in her class anymore, but I can still hear her in the back of my head, screaming at me to push myself and my Pokemon harder. I think I'm doing well enough. My Pokemon are happy, and Janine hasn't mentioned that I'm slacking in the battle team. Instructor Claire is hot, though. I guess Janine's letter accepting me into the battle team did mention I needed to take battles more seriously. But when there's so much fun, how could I? And how are your Pokemon doing? Oh, they're doing fantastically. Which one do you want to hear about? First, Ivysaur. Ivysaur's an amazing partner. I was worried that my school-assigned starter might be a bit tricky to train, you know? That would be really difficult since a large part of our final grade is based on how our starter is doing. But Ivysaur's extremely calm. I never really had to worry about him going off on his own or doing something crazy. Actually, he might be too calm. He emits this scent sometimes that makes me really sleepy. The next Pokemon, please discuss Helioptile. Helioptile's been a bit antsy recently. She was a gift from my parents a few years ago. What? And seriously, why is the background music still the Homeroom music? Shouldn't it be the cafe theme? She wasn't the first Pokemon I ever had, but she was one of the first, so I've been training her for a long time. I think she wants to evolve, like Red Lightning Pikachu. But where are you supposed to find a Sunstone in Kobukan? Kobukan puts massive fees on stones shipped across the border too. They don't want to disrupt their own tiny mining industry, I guess. Next. Jigglypuff, please. Jigglypuff is an absolute angel. She's the easiest Pokemon I've ever trained. It's like she's been trained before. An absolute angel. At least she's not like the anime Jigglypuff, that piece of shit which I want to poke with a needle to make her pop and blow away in the wind. Sorry. Although, just because you and me, Jigglypuff aren't very strong. But she still does her best, and we never would have made it back to Kobukan without her, so I'm never boxing her. When I first read boxing her, I meant that she wanted to, I thought that Leaf wanted to put on some boxing gloves and beat her up, use her like a punching bag. That would just be cruel, that's Pokemon abuse. Okay, can you please discuss Drampa next? Oh, Drampa, of course, she's relatively new, so I forget sometimes. New? Yeah, I found her on Springs Day. She wasn't in one of the eggs, but I think she came out of the mountains when she heard people celebrating. She found an egg, which she was protecting from Wally, but I convinced her that finding and taking care of eggs was just part of the day, and I think that satisfied her. After Wally took the egg away, the Drampa came with me. Wally took an egg? Which was it? It was a Badoo egg. I didn't have the heart to tell him that you can find Badoo really easily in the fields. And the final Pokemon that she's going to talk about is her Dratini. Well, Blue's training him right now. It's frustrating, but Blue's doing a much better job with him than I ever did. He just had such a strong attitude, like he wouldn't even try to battle foes he didn't think were worth his time, and he got in fights with Bulbasaur all the time. Actually, Dratini was one of my first ever Pokemon, but based on what Yellow and Blue have told me, he doesn't seem to miss me at all. That makes me a bit sad. That is pretty sad if you ask me. But I guess if she's getting the training she needs, it's for the best. This is just a temporary thing after all. Hey, didn't Janine ask you to stay back one time to talk about your Dratini with you? Oh, you remember that? Yeah, she did. It was so weird. She just looked at him really intently, examined his scale patterns, checked behind his ear fins? It seemed she had a lot of experience handling Dratini. I don't know what she was looking for, but she seemed surprised at the end of it. Huh, wonder what that's about. Okay, I admit that I was a bit distracted thinking how soft, Leaf's bust must be. It must be pretty soft if you ask me. I like soft chests. And let's talk about something serious. Oh, well sure, makes me a bit nervous to hear that, but yeah. I'm game. What kind of serious talk do you want to have? I'll try not to make any jokes. Okay, so this is about something you mentioned a while ago, and it's kind of been occupying a spot in my head, bothering me ever since. Alright, I'll answer it truthfully, whatever it is. Okay. Is it true that everyone at the school pads? I noticed that the time on the clock is pretty much late. Look, 10:10, that's pretty late at night. You dick! You said we were going to have a serious conversation! What does padding mean? Okay, in retrospect, yeah, that's pretty funny. Thanks for lightening the mood. For real though, what is it? I know you wanted this to be a date, but I have to wonder, have you ever dated before? I feel like you know what you're doing, but at the same time, don't. My first crush was a girl named Cindy. There goes Leaf's bisexuality again. She brought her lunch to school in a Lance lunchbox. I thought that lunchbox was the coolest thing ever. This was before Lance was even the Kanto champion. He was just a popular strong trainer, kinda obscure. Cindy was always in the cutting edge of things. That didn't work out though. Also, I never ever talked to her, so, I didn't really give it a chance. Aw, that sucks. Do you still, women? I mean, maybe if Rosa was an option. Unfortunately, Leaf, she's straight for you, so she's unavailable. Then, in 4th grade... Oh wait, I told you this, didn't I? You said 5th grade, I remember it. Yeah, but tell me again. I had 2 boyfriends, Miles and Evan. Ooh, well, weren't you a man's lady? Huh? You know, man's lady, like ladies' man, but in reverse. Shouldn't it be men's lady though? Because ladies is the plural possessive of lady, so we should use the plural possessive for man too. Oh yeah, you're right, huh? Anyway, you were talking about your grade school harem? That's a hell of a way to put it, but yeah, we had a thing. We would hold hands together, swap the parts of our lunch we didn't like, sit in the same tree during recess. So, Leaf pretty much confirmed that she's polyamorous. We hadn't really started kissing when it ended, but I think we were going to. We'd just started to understand what our relationship was about when... Cinnabar Island. So, that one also didn't work. Evan and I had started to discuss what exactly we were, and we were going to talk to Miles about it too. But I put it off, just a week, but that week changed everything. Guess I didn't really learn my lesson, huh? I guess not, Leaf. Tell me about them. It sounds like they were really important to you. I know how it is with childhood friends. Even if things change, even if years pass, you still miss them. Yeah, for example, even though Blue is pretty much mean to Red, he still cares about him. If he didn't care about Red, then he would not have set up Red's bed or asked to dorm with Red, etc., etc. If Blue didn't care about Red, then he wouldn't have done those things for him at all. So tell me about them. You probably don't have many chances to tell people about your grade school harem, like? You'd be surprised. It's like the second most common thing I open conversations with. Really, Leaf? Interesting. Oh, okay, we're being serious now. Miles was a know-it-all. He called himself a super nerd. I don't remember what his first name was, but his last name was Miles because he thought it sounded cooler than his first name. Yeah, some people prefer going by their last names like Quagmire. Evan was a shy boy, but he loved nature, loved the outdoors. He used to take us camping. We'd spend hours waiting in the water at the beach, while Miles hid from the sun underneath his umbrella. And that was the closest thing to a date I've had before right now. Which is pretty sad, since this is pretty explicitly not a date, exactly. I'm not great with numbers, but shouldn't 9th grade have been 10 or so years ago? Closer to 9, but yeah. And I don't have an excuse for that, really. I mean, I'm not totally blind to my advantages. Namely that I'm gorgeous, smart, and rich. And modest. But I never really tried reaching out until here in Kobukan. After Cinnabar, my family moved to Goldenrod, where I attended a girls' school until I went to Kobukan. I guess that might have stopped me from dating a bit more than some other high school, but it definitely wasn't a hard and fast stop. No, that's just on me. Sometimes people would ask me out or would show some sort of interest. But I found an excuse. I always found an excuse to avoid it. Well, you've gotten over that. How do you figure? You did everything you could to make this a date without actually obtaining my consent to be dated. I guess. Still took me a month to sort it out, though. Leaf, you did it. There were difficulties, but you did do it. Give yourself some credit. You can't improve if you always ignore the progress you make. Look, Red. Hey, Melody, you're here? Of course she's here. This is my second time playing week 2, and first time recording it. Yo. Melody. Leaf, Shirley, it's Red. What are you doing here? For the ambience. Any other questions I can answer for you? Why are you here? Now! I felt a spiritual calling. Also, you're in the makeout chair. What? Every Wednesday, I'd meet my boyfriend at this cafe. We'd sit at this table. He'd sit in the chair you're sitting in now. And after I had enough sugar in me, I'd sit on his lap and we'd make out. Those are fairly explicit details. Check the back. There's a heart carved there, and it says MXD there. So, Melody's boyfriend's name starts with a D. Interesting. Are you trying to get me to leave? No, just kind of sad that the makeout chair isn't being made out in anymore. Your generation has no respect for the old traditions. Aren't you pretty much in the same generation as Leaf and Red? What about you, Shirley? Going to be a man about it? This isn't a date. Clearly, you didn't even order the couples float. My recommendation, by the way, don't get the chocolate syrup. It gives you gas, which ruins the after-date experience. Unless you're into that. I feel like you're probably into that. Yeah, no, of course not. Please don't tell me anything more about your weird kinks. Anyway, I hate to kick you out, but it's getting late. Huh? Is it really? You look outside the window. To your surprise, it really is getting dark. Wait, you work here? Not all of us have fossil money, Green. Yeah, I work here. I would have thought your uncle would give you all the money you need. Phobos gave me an opportunity. Everything else I earned. Sharon also said he earned everything he has. So did Blue. I wonder why... Okay, I don't have time to unpack all these proper nouns you're dropping on me. Just get up and go. It's closing time. Excuse me, this establishment does not close until 8 p.m. It's only 7:47 p.m. Oh, Melody wants to go home already. God. Look, Karen, you don't... I really do not mean to cause any sort of bother, but is it not factual that this establishment has advertised itself? Stop yapping, you're giving me a headache. Just say whatever you're going to say. And here's another character I dislike. Erika. My intent, which I was planning to convey summarily, is... Okay, you're taking too long. I'm kicking these two out right now. Pray stay your hand. Pray stay my hand? By which I mean kindly allow them to stay until the established closing hours of this business. Hey, Erika, I appreciate it, but it's not that big a deal. A business enterprise lives and dies by the promises it makes, and its ability and willingness to fulfill said promises. If you have any passion for this job, you ought not to discard this cafe's doctrine so easily. Yeah, I don't. You think anyone baristas because they're passionate for it? Then you should not be performing a job you have no passion for. There are alternative avenues. What if there are no other options, Erika, and you have to have a job no matter what? Hold on, I need to get a drink. Oh, that's better. Oof. Okay. Now it's like 10 minutes till closing time. Do you still have some moral objection to me closing a bit early so I can clean up sooner and head back when it's not completely pitch black? As a matter of fact, I do. In fact, given your impolite conduct towards me and my battle team teammates, I wish to speak to your manager. What did Leaf say your name was again? Erika? Hold on, there's something here. Erika, there we go. I admit that that's a pretty good one. That's not my name! Whatever you say, Erika. Don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh. Keep it in red. Why are you acting in this fashion? What have I done to grievance you in this way? Waltzing in 15 minutes before closing time is one. Trying to complain to the manager is another one. And, no, you cannot speak to my manager. He isn't even here anyway. Very well, then I am afraid I will have to make a phone call to remedy this situation. Knock yourself out. You awkwardly begin to get up, given you never really had a problem with leaving the cafe in the first place, but Melody puts out a hand, indicating you should stay seated. Hold on, don't you want to see where this goes? Not really. It's like a train wreck. I can't look away. It's one of those so bad it's good things. Erika pulls out a screenless mobile phone, then gingerly inputs a number into it, focusing intently on typing out the number. A moment later... Mistress Tamamushi, please state the nature of your emergency. I wish to speak to my father.
What? She wants to... No, we don't have a protocol for this.
Apologies, mistress. The master is not accepting phone calls at this time. Be that as it may, I must insist.
No, she's insisting. What do we... Well, I have to say something.
Apologies, mistress. The master specifically requested that all calls, regardless of origin, be denied. We can transfer you to your stepmother. Perhaps she would be able to allay your concerns? Oh, no, please do not... Mi hermosa niña! My beautiful girl! Oh, how wonderful it is to hear from you again! Tell me, how are you doing at school? Have you made many friends yet? How are your classes progressing? Top marks as always? So, Erika's stepmother's Paldean. Erika? Hija? Daughter? Are you there? Yes, stepmother. Beloved, you know you may call me by my name. I wish to speak to my father. Oh. Of course, I understand. He is not taking calls at the moment, but I will walk you into his office.
We really don't need to be here for this.
Shut up and enjoy the show. This is better than an episode of Undella Bay.
What? What are you interrupting me for? Erika? What does she want? Well, why didn't you ask her? Fine. I'm almost done with work for the day and was hoping to relax.
Okay, my beloved, your father will hear you now. Oh, it appears he has a few more papers to handle at first. Do you wish to talk with me any further? No. Okay, you are always welcome to call me. Te quiero mucho. I love you a lot. I'm thinking some Paldean model, a gold digger. Daddy Erika's got some of that, has a trophy wife energy, don't you think? We just want to leave. You had your chance. You let Erika fight for you, and now you're locked in your seats until the curtain falls. Father, are you there?
Harumph!
Yes, I'm here. Now what is it? Out with it. I'm very busy right now. It's been too long since we've spoken, Father. Perhaps we...
Oh, enough of that small talk. Does Devereaux's judgment of such things escape you? Small talk is a poison most afflicted, a breath of death to deprive intellectuals of the benefits of higher conversation. I've no time to tarry about on such mediocre matters. Out with it, Erika.
Yes, apologies. I have been insulted most grievously, Father.
Oh, is this about that matter of that Esper you had intentions for?
No, Father! He was not an Esper, and I most certainly did not have a crush on him.
I should hope not. You know such things are beneath you, beneath our family. Keep fast thine course, stray not from the path that destiny hath laid afore.
Lest your steps shall falleth betwixt the privilege of surety and sink into uncharted soil to be stained. Yes, of course, I've no such delusions.
Then what is the manner of this insult?
I have been called Erikaran.
This is a grave insult indeed. Who spoke this insult? Who do they work for?
It was... Melody Phobos. Melody, I work for, the Inspira Café. Thank you. Melody, who works for the Inspira Café.
I shall see to this Melody never holds employment within the business again. I will make her rue the day she crossed the Tamamushi family. I will blot her bloodline from ever... Hold on, what was her last name?
What was your last name? Nunya, of the Shamutian Shipping Conglomerate Nunya Business. Nunya, Father, of Nunya Business. I got that the first time I played that. That was a wordplay of none of your business.
Stupid child. Waste no more of my time.
And he hangs up. Oh... And that's why you leave when the barista says they're closing. Shirley, Leaf, it's been a pleasure having you here. Actually, buy something next time. You know, I feel a little bad for Erika, even though I dislike her. I really don't like her. Time to go, chop chop, finally. You and Leaf quickly make your way back to your dorm, the bizarre display between Erika and Melody replaying over and over in your minds as you try to make sense of whatever just happened. You know, I planned for us to go shopping before dinner. Oh yeah? We'll have to do that next time. You got a date in mind? For what it's worth. But can we talk about Erika for a second? Oh no, I'm totally with you. Like, I think we could have guessed she might have some family issues, but jeez. Jeez is right. I think I could even forgive her for trying to kick you from the battle team after hearing all that. Well, I'm sure she's very glad you're willing to forgive her for something she did to me. Aren't I gracious? Outrageous, more like. Then you're going to be pretty confused in 2 to 3 turns. If you're the outrageous one, though, shouldn't you be... It was a joke! Alright. I know this wasn't worth the wait, but I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, we learned some interesting facts about Leaf. Yeah, I did. Thanks for not, tying me to a chair and refusing to feed me until I dated you. But would that work? I seriously hope you're not thinking that, Leaf. Please, just let him go. Find someone else. Let him win Blue's heart. Please. Keeping that one in the back pocket, then. Please don't. Okay. Thank you, Gardenia. Wednesday is over and we're moving on to Thursday until the next one. The next video, I mean. I'm getting thirsty again. And I'm going to stop right here, so thank you, my healers, for joining me on this adventure. Feel free to give this video a like, and I'll see you in the next one. And don't get on my bitter side.